Hello. Now, March is here, and for most of us, that means it is time for some spring cleaning, but not the type where you maybe clean out the garage. But today we're talking about spring cleaning your relationship with our expert, Kat Robey.
Good morning.
Morning, Kat. Now, I love all of your tips because they have kind of little cleaning words in them.
We had some fun with that, didn't we?
You did such a good job with these because the first one you said is wipe the slate clean.
Yeah, that score-keeping slate that we might be involved in of who's doing what and who's earning more or who's done something romantic most recently. Get rid of all that stuff. Forget about looking at what your partner is doing. Make sure and look at what you're doing, what you're contributing. And the ironic thing is the more you're contributing and not paying attention to whether or not it's being given back to you as much as you'd like, it does. It starts to really fuel that, like, okay, the walls are coming down. I don't feel like every little thing is being judged or, you know, tallied, so to speak. So wipe that little scorecard, wipe that slate clean, move forward, and be who you want to be in this relationship.
You know how much effort that goes into keeping tally and holding on to things from the past? Even if it's good for your relationship, it'll really turn out to be really good for yourself, like you and your health and your mental being.
Yeah.
So we're wiping that slate clean. Truly do it. Don't just do the yeah, but really do it. I like the next one you said, straighten up your language.
Yes, oh my goodness, looking at all the ways that we communicate with each other instead of saying, you never do this, you always do that.
Yep.
What if you really want something to happen and you say, I really appreciate when you take care of this thing for me. Actually, I said that the other day. I really appreciate that you take care of the cats for me. And of course he said, well, feel free to do it anytime you like. But you know, the idea is, and I bit my tongue to say, well, you know, I do other stuff around here because that's back to the slate, right? It's so easy to fall into this stuff. So being able to say, instead of using the words always, never, or you're labeling, you're calling names, you know, straighten all that up. Get your language straight. Look at how you're talking to each other. Would you say what you're saying to someone you respect? Oh my goodness, this is your partner. This is the person you should respect, you know, the most or one of the most. So yeah, that's cleaning that up a little bit.
I think I've either thought that or heard that or have said that. Like, how would you feel if somebody else said that to me? Wouldn't you want to come to my defense? You know, wouldn't you should think about that when you're also talking. They always say you kind of hurt the one you're closest to.
Sure.
Kind of thing. But you're right. Be mindful of that.
Well, and one more thing on that, you're going to get more of what you give again.
Yes.
The more you say, I appreciate that you blank versus why don't you ever blank?
Yep.
Wow, you're going to get more and more of it.
Yep. Absolutely. Your other one is, are you a hoarder? But not like a hoarder like of stuff.
Yeah. Are you like collecting old hurts and things that are resentments or just all these different ways that we kind of line up the reasons why we treat you so bad?
Yes.
You know, well, you don't deserve for me to do this or that because you've done this and that. And it's really hard because those things do kind of pile up and you don't want to let them go because they're your justifications. So here's your chance. If you're in this relationship and you're going to stay in this relationship, you literally can't move forward without cleaning all that stuff out.
You probably also figure out if you're hoarding all of these things, it almost turns into your identity of who you are in the relationship. So if you really got rid of that, you have to kind of say, well, then who am I in this relationship? If I'm not defending, you know, against this or always, you know, trying to get back from things that from who knows when, you kind of get your own new identity in the relationship.
Well, and this also speaks to things that traveled from other relationships into this one.
Yes.
That's actually the main piece because maybe you've been hurt, maybe you've been cheated on, maybe you've been lied to, la 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 la. With all these other people, here you are with this new relationship, but you're carrying around all these old pieces of that are just keeping you from being able to fully invest in the relationship. So I call that one hoarding because it's really, you know, like Mrs. Havisham, you're like, get rid of all that stuff, clean it out, dust it off, and do the work that it requires to really be able to show up in the relationship.
And when we talk about things like this, make today the day. Make today the day that you're really doing that spring cleaning, you're really being mindful, you're really taking that extra, you said it's hard, you're right.
It's hard.
We fall into old habits or old mindsets, really being mindful, really try to be conscious of what you're doing. Because that comes into that deep cleaning that you also talk about, like really deep clean what you're thinking about.
Yeah, definitely. And some of those old hurts that you don't want to let go of require forgiveness, require that you really step into the relationship in a different way and maybe be a little bit vulnerable to be able to say, I'm hurt and I want to stay in the relationship and I got to learn how to do this day by day.
Yeah. It is. And now we've cleaned the slate, we've gotten rid of all of it, and now you say kind of polish yourself up.
Yeah. So when's the last time you really looked at how you feel in your own skin? Maybe you don't feel as attractive, or like someone's not going to ask you out to have a romantic evening, because are you really taking care of yourself? Not that it's about looks or about any of that, but we all let ourselves go in a lot of ways, whether it's nutrition or exercise or sleep or whatever. Are you putting forth an effort to create a person that someone would want to spend time with?
Yes.
That's really the goal. Yeah. Like, of course, you want to be able to be that person. You're spending time with you. You're important. What matters here is that you're taking the time and energy to be able to really, like I said, show up. That seems to be the word for the day, because everything that we're talking about, we're right on the heels of what people are talking about, Lent and all these different things. People give up things. I think just showing up every day and not giving up because you stumble. I want to make sure that we talk about that point, because, well, today I ruined it, and then that just goes back into my shame pile. So now I'm going to keep on the way I have, versus every day is a new day. Every interaction is a new interaction for you to try this stuff out. And yes, it'll be bumpy.
That's a great thing that you were talking about with Lent. Maybe somebody gives up, saying negative things about their partner, or, and people may not think about it. Think about soda or cookies or something. Maybe think about that. You know what? I'm going to go this amount of time, and I'm not going to say the negative things. I'm not going to focus. I'm going to change it all to a positive.
Right.
Today's the day. I can feel it. Somebody out there's going to be like, it's a new day in my relationship. I'm taking Kat's advice. But even if you need more, Kat, they can always get a hold of you, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. If you have been interested in professional relationship advice, give Kat a call. She's at 906-3392, or you can visit robeycounseling.com.